A strong covering letter should do two things. One, highlight your skills, achievements, and experience that is most relevant to the job description. Two, demonstrate your genuine enthusiasm for the employer and the opportunity they're offering. After all, these are the things recruiters need to be convinced by if they're going to invest in you. What should you include in a covering letter? Well, the golden rule is that you should never send the same blanket letter to more than one employer. Ultimately, your covering letter needs to help you capture the recruiter's attention and strengthen your case for why they should interview you. They need to see that you are genuinely interested in their specific job vacancy. An impersonal letter that could be sent en masse isn't going to do this. While the content of your letter needs to change for each employer, there is a consistent format that you should follow. There are 4 sections that every covering letter needs, and these are an opening, a why you, a why them, and an ending. Overall, your covering letter should be no longer than one side of an A4. So think around 4 to 5 paragraphs in total. First off, the opening. This doesn't need to be long. State which job you're applying for and where you saw the advert. Ideally, you'll have a name to address your letter to. You can get in touch with the organisation to find out whose name you should use. Otherwise, Dear Sir, Madam is acceptable. If you're including a name, get the person's title, name and gender right. Mr., Miss. Miss is often a good idea when you're addressing a female recruiter, as you will not likely know their marital status. Or would another title be appropriate? Doctor, for example. While this might seem like a small detail, it is worth taking care with it so you can start your letter on the front foot. Then you have the why you section. This should be 1 or 2 paragraphs on why you are well suited to the role you're applying for. You should refer directly to the job description and give evidence of how you possess the skills, abilities, and/or knowledge required. Be selective and don't cram your letter with too much detail. It's better to pinpoint 3 or 4 important attributes that the employer seeks and focus on these than to briefly refer every skill the job description mentions. For example, let's say you're applying to an employer in the tech industry. After reviewing the job description, you might decide the top 3 attributes that you want to focus on are a deep interest in technology, a practical knowledge of programming and versatile communication skills. You should prove you have these by including examples from any work experience, academic work, and your personal life. For example, to demonstrate a deep interest in technology, you might talk about how you engage with the world of tech, whether that's attending conferences or hackathons, vlogging about the latest developments in your area of interest, or creating your own app. You should also tailor your CV to highlight how you match the employer's requirements. But you can use your covering letter to expand and more explicitly state how you match the job description. For instance, if you're aware that your role would involve thinking about sustainability, you might want to expand on how you have previously engaged with that team in your own projects. When providing this evidence, it can help to use the formula, I have done X, so I can do Y on the job description. For example, I have developed excellent customer service skills, serving up to 100 customers a shift at my local pub, which means that I am confident I have the client relationship building skills you're looking for, or the communication skills I developed as a course ambassador, delivering presentations to cover 100 prospective students and parents, leading tours of the campus and answering their questions will help me liaise with both internal and external stakeholders in this role. At graduate level, remember, it's fine to refer to experience that isn't directly related to the profession you're applying to. Examples from part-time jobs and extracurricular activities, for instance, will demonstrate how you have used and developed these key skills. Next up, you should include a section on why the employer. This paragraph should explain why you're interested in the job you're applying for and the organisation as a whole. Put simply, what is it that made you apply? This is your opportunity to convince the recruiter that you're interested in working for them, not their fiercest rival or any employer that will have you. Avoid anything that could be said about pretty much any organisation, such as, because you're a prestigious and dynamic company. You should be able to provide specific reasons for applying, such as why you're interested in the work that they do, their mission, and the values that they stand for. Your commercial awareness and your nuanced knowledge of the organisation will be your biggest help here. For example, do you know about its overall strategy, its values, its products and services, and its most recent wins? All these can be fed into your reasons for wanting to work with an employer. It's worth noting that you can swap why you and why them around if you find that works better. As long as you cover both, the exact order doesn't matter. And finally, your ending, aka a gracious sign-off. You'll want to end your letter on a positive note. It's common to thank them for considering your application, to say you look forward to hearing from them, and/or to state your availability for interview. Don't forget to sign off your letter. For letters addressed to a named content, yours sincerely is the appropriate sign-off. For Dear Sir Manum, it should be yours faithfully. Before you send your covering letter, remember to check it for spelling, grammar, and typos. It can also help to read your letter out loud to check that your writing flows and makes sense. Again, this is a small but critical detail as it can make all the difference. After all, recruiters will be assessing your written communication skills and your attention to detail through your letter. And there you have it, the essential elements of a strong covering letter. Move on to the next part of the course where you can access some resources to help you with yours.